Mercenary. The Sentinels in the other group were killed by Deadwalkers. And there's a group of undead on the road, stopping anyone from getting through.
I'll see what I can do.
Mercenary, it is well that you are returned. A creature that seemed like a dead thing came. It claimed you had sent it.
Yeah, he's a potential ally. Don't worry about it.
I fear I attacked him, and arrested him. He tried to talk to me, but I felt safer with it under guard, considering his face.
Where is he now?
He is with the Red Scribes.
Perfect. Mathras, do you have a moment?
My dear, I have all of eternity.
Who are you exactly?
I am Mathras, immortal and unique.
Right. So why aren't you out there hanging out with your Deadwalker friends?
First of all, I don't have any pals. I'm a little too old for that. Secondly, I find your implication that I'm associated with them most unpleasant. I have nothing in common with those dead things. I've been around for over 6,000 years, and I'm still very much alive, thank you. I admit this body is looking a little worn.
6,000 years old. Hey, you don't look a day over 250.
You flatterer. I did, however, lose a toe this morning. Nonetheless, these Deadwalkers are simply corpses that are animated by magic. Whereas I am an immortal spirit who changes bodies when they wear out. There's absolutely no similarity.
That's not so dumb. It's what allows you to go on having an effect on the world, I guess.
Exactly. I give these bodies extra life that they would not have had if they'd stayed dead. Though, of course, these days, it's unlikely they would stay dead for very long.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you come to Carolthas?
Why not? There's one thing you should know about eternity. It can be rather dull. So I do my very best to be in the right place at the right time. The place where it's the most fun.
Fun? You think this is fun?
Well, distracting then, if you prefer. What do you expect? I'm just so bored. The End of the World is a show I wouldn't want to miss.
What do you know about the Deadwalkers?
Apart from the fact that they're an incongruous mass of corpses with appalling bad taste that are animated through the use of magic, nothing. I can tell you that the power necessary for their creation and to keep them working is far beyond the magical abilities of any of your contemporaries. And since it's obvious they're incapable of any decision-making or strategy, they are clearly being controlled from a distance. All of which suggests the Ice Lords who are controlling these things are rather powerful. Something, I grant you, quite difficult to believe when one saw them start out at the same pitiful level of incompetence as their brothers, the Red Scribes.
In 6,000 years, have you ever seen a situation as desperate as this one?
Honestly? Well, no. You are, as you might put it, fucked. Or at least the mortals seem to be. But you carry something within you that may modify things somewhat. And it is this seemingly insignificant detail, this flap of a butterfly's wing, which may eventually change the apparently manifest destiny of the world as you know it. This demon, as you call it, has never before walked the earth. Neither he, neither it, nor any other of its kind. If they had, I would know of it, believe me. Consequently, and in spite of the evident futility of such a sentiment, there may be grounds for you to feel a slight glimmer of hope. That is, of course, if it is your desire to avert disaster.
Well, that's comforting. What happened to the Elven King?
I think he was simply lacking in strength of will and determination. They transformed him into an arch-lich. It's a particularly delicate and extremely dangerous magical process that could only be performed by an Ice Lord. It can only be performed on an elf, and then only one who is desperate to live.
How so?
Elves have many flaws, but most of them do have a very profound sense of duty. If an elf believes he is going to be tortured to make him reveal the secrets of his people, for example, he can literally will himself to die. It would seem that this king was desperate to continue living at any price, rather than dying with honor. That is what allowed them to turn him into an arch-lich.
Do you have any idea about what I am becoming?
In all my long lives, I've never seen your like. Even the term demon seems to be designed to cause confusion. I have seen real demons when I lived as a war drum player amongst the dwarves.
Dwarves are just legend. You're yanking my chain.
It would be churlish to mock someone when it is so easy. Thus the dwarves did exist, and I was once one of them. They used to use these little creatures, barely the size of toddlers, in their enormous forges. They were little red creatures with tiny horns and a wicked air about them. You see, they were able to survive in the flames. The dwarves called them demons. You look a little like one of them, only much bigger. And you have an even more pronounced affinity with fire. I'm reserving judgment about the wicked attitude. I believe this affinity with flames is no coincidence. You are clearly a response, a weapon, and your purpose is to face the Ice Lords. It is entirely possible that you are the fruit of an attempt to rebalance the forces of nature. Alas, I have no idea which entity is behind all of this.
How are things with Sybil?
What a charming young girl. Her hunger for knowledge reminds me of myself in the distant past, when I was young and still living in my first body. I imagine that if I still felt any physical desires, I would happily give her a good few hours of one-on-one experimental physical training. And it seems to me that she's rather more interested in getting your attention. At any rate, she is by far the most interesting red scribe I've met in the past 300 years, though I fear that may not be much of a compliment, given their legendary incompetence.
I'm gonna need your experience, Mathras. Come with me.
At last! I was starting to get a little bored.
They attacked the wrong person. How dare they condemn our king to such a macabre fate? My father. It's time for us to repay the Deadwalkers in kind. I want to see them destroyed, so not a single one of those dead ever dare set foot in our streets again. We're going to launch a massive assault to take back our city. It is time to turn the tide of this war. Vulcan, we will need you and your extraordinary abilities. We have to send a small group to open the city gates. I'm counting on you. I know that you can be stealthy and incredibly effective. A few soldiers will be going with you. This is our best chance. Blackfrost doesn't seem to be here anymore, and most of his forces went with him. But before we launch the assault, we need to strengthen our army. I've been told there are prisoners in the city. If we free those soldiers, we can add them to our ranks. We're also going to need to get our equipment in as good shape as possible. We're fortunate that our smith has survived. Let us hope he'll be able to provide us with everything we need. But it's better to make sure.
Thou knowest that Black Frost's palace will take us to the world heart. Yet still thou dost waste thy time in vain battles. Thy stupidity knows no bounds.
Vulcan, I need your help.
What, sorting books? Observing swamp critters? You don't think I have better stuff to do right now?
That's not fair. I'm not stupid. I understand that what is most important now is the fight, and our soldiers...
The Freeborn Blades will do just fine. Don't you worry about that.
Not them, the other human soldiers.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure we can count on them. They've already lost the war. They're only staying here because the elves are protecting them. But they've got no fight left in them. They have to believe they can win. They have to fight alongside the elves and the Freeborn Blades. I've tried talking with them, but they treat me like a child. Maybe they would listen if you would talk to them.
Me? Most regular soldiers don't have time for mercenaries.
They just need to get their spirit back, boost their morale. I'm sure you could find some words to help them.
How can I help you, mercenary?
I'll be going now.
Vulcan, come here. I need to talk to you about something. While you were in the city, the Deadwalkers apparently began stirring. Several scouts have disappeared without a trace. They can't just have been ambushed by chance. Someone must have given their roots to our enemies. I'm afraid we have a traitor among us. Though if that's the case, I don't understand why we haven't been attacked by the Deadwalkers yet. What's really troubling is that these disappearances pretty much correspond to your arrival here, which means that your living dead friend is the prime suspect. Even if it's just as possible that it's one of the Red Scribes, or even one of your people.
And why can't it be one of your people?
Why would he do that? And above all, why would he wait until now to betray us?
With your army decimated, and hearing that the king's dead, a soldier might really decide that the war's lost, that there's no hope. Day after day, hoping for a miracle, that gives way to the darkest of miseries. And in the end, he's had it, and wants it over and done with.
Maybe. Regardless, we have to find the spy and silence him. You have demonstrated your effectiveness and discretion. Can you take care of this?
Of course, I'll look into it. Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
I've been thinking about the books in the library. I found a building that must be the library you were talking about. I think we should go there together. Shall we go?
It would be my pleasure.
And even more bullshit. Don't wear yourself out, honey. We're not gonna fight for these lazy elves.
You have to listen to me, please. I know you're angry with the elves for not entering the war earlier. But today, with their help, we finally have a chance to win.
With what's left of their army? You gotta be kidding, sweetheart. They got taken out once. The second time's a done deal.
Black Frost is no longer here to support his army, and the elves are no longer on their own. We, the scribes, and the mercenaries too, will be with them. And here's Vulcan. He'll be helping too, and as you can see, he is no ordinary mercenary. I beg you, please. If we join all of our forces together, we can win.
I gotta give it to you, Sugar. You sure know how to use that mouth of yours. But you don't know nothing about war. All I see here is the remains of an army that I got no reason to fight for.
I just need to say the word, and Prince Arundel will throw you and your men out.
Oh, think you're smart, huh? Except that your stupid threats aren't exactly gonna make us want to risk our lives. We don't want to stay here forever. As soon as everyone's attacking, we'll raise stakes and go east, away from all this shit.
You've got till the count of 10 to change your mind, soldier. After that, I'll be here with my company and you'll be treated as deserters.
Oh, stop. You're scaring me. We're the infantry group of the Night Watch, buddy. You really think you're gonna scare us with your threats? What company are you in?
The Freeborn Blades.
The Freeborn Blades? Shit. Are all the mercenaries who've shown up Freeborn Blades? It kind of changes the deal, huh? Hey, guys! We're not really gonna be more gutless than the elves, are we? All right, listen. We'll fight with you. We'll show those elves what real soldiers are like.
Thank you, all of you, and thank you, Vulcan, for convincing them.
Well, well, you again. Can I help you?
Why the long face? Is something wrong?
You mean apart from the fact that my city no longer exists and I've lost most of my people? Sorry for being in a bad mood. I'm still alive, I should be grateful for that, but actually, I feel completely useless, and that makes me sick.
Looks like you've got lots to do, though. Even if your army doesn't have as many troops as before, they still need equipment.
Of course, and that's what's driving me crazy. I had to leave all of my equipment behind when I escaped, and there was no chance of getting it back. I can only sell the weapons the soldiers bring me. And when you think I had the best forge in Vertiel, Thormal Diamond Arms Hammer, can you believe it?
So, what's so special about this diamond arm hammer?
It's a priceless relic. Just imagine, the best elfsmith in history set his soul stone in it. He who wields it immediately absorbs all of his techniques. It's a unique object, one every smith dreams of possessing.
Seeing as how it means so much to you, I could get it back for you.
Really? You would be doing me the greatest of favors, and not just for me, for the entire army. I'd finally be able to work again.
Consider it done.
Well, well, you again. Can I help you?
Show me what you have to sell.
Alas, not much.
What? In our camp? Aren't you afraid it'll communicate with its masters? Sir?
It's a calculated risk. Your friend Edwin told me that she can interrogate those creatures, so we captured one.
You really can do some pretty weird things.
Listen, Vulcan. We're not going to turn down any information. If we can find out how to haul our asses out of the fire, I don't see how it can hurt. Ready to make it talk?
If our fire breather doesn't need me right away, I can start getting ready.
Excellent. Let's start the interrogation.
Listen, Maggot Head. You're going to tell us everything you know.
That's not quite how it works, Captain. It can't just answer questions like that. Tell me what you want to know, and I'll dig around in its memory to find the answers.
In that case, why not dig everything out, so we don't miss anything?
Even for someone as skilled as me, that could take weeks. Its brain, however limited, is like an immense archive that contains both recent memories and memories of its past life.
All right. I want to know if that bastard Black Frost really has left the area.
Let me concentrate. Yes. I see him raising the wave and turning the whole city into ice. This soldier must have been at his feet. Then he gave the order to attack and gave orders to several powerful undead. Apparently he left right after. He appears nowhere else in its memory.
What were the Black Frost's orders?
You have to understand that this creature's ability to comprehend is limited. From what I can see, it was told to keep watch over the city. He asked to be sent living people. Prisoners. The other living people must still be alive and under guard. Other prisoners. And of course, that he be informed in the event of trouble.
Does he know we entered the city?
This dead thing doesn't anyway. But that doesn't mean a thing, unfortunately.
What are those powerful dead you were talking about?
I see a flying creature, like the one in the swamp, and others. But the image is blurred.
So the army is being commanded by a tormentor now?
No, I don't think so. They make good spies, but poor leaders. That said, I don't see any real generals.
Nothing that looks like that one that attacked the village.
No, but Black Frost will definitely have left someone in charge. Someone he trusts. This soldier just didn't see who. I think that he... Oh no! He saw me!
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Well, well. Probing the spirits of the dead. You can well imagine that this sort of communication goes both ways. So, that's where my dear rebels are hiding, isn't it?
I must break the link! Right now!
Hello, Vulcan.
Let me see what you've made this time.
The knight has come to ask help from his friend. While on reconnaissance, he spotted a convoy which he thinks should be stopped. A group of deadwalkers transporting an object. He thinks they should be attacked and the object taken from them while there is still time. The broken road will only slow them a little. The knight and his friend must get there as quickly as possible.
Okay then. Let's go for it. I have to go somewhere with Ranval. Wait for me here.
Very well, but be careful, please.